Hello, friends, and welcome to What the Fringe, the podcast dedicated to all things Fringe theater. I'm your host, Lauren Hance. Each week, I visit with a Fringe artist to hear all about their endeavors and gain insight into their process. This week, I'm visiting with Spencer Amrheim and Chanel Mise of the improv troupe Kid Goblin. Kid Goblin will be performing Confess Your Sins to Kid Goblin, an improv indulgence at the 2025 San Diego Fringe, a live comedy show where audience confessions become fuel for fiendishly good improv. The rules are simple, sinner. Scrawl your sins. Anonymously submit your darkest or most absurd secrets to the box of unholy truths. Number 2, meet your chaotic priest. The goblins will pick submissions out of the box and confess to our resident priest as if they were our own sins. This will inspire the improv scenes. And 3, unholy consequences. Watch as your confession, petty crime, guilty secret inspires everything from courtroom drama to an existential meltdown over stolen office supplies. No judgment here, just relentless mockery. Come clean or don't. Either way, you're damned funny.
I think to capture a new audience, one reason, and kind of push ourselves to do, like, we're doing 20-minute sets. We might have an occasional hour-long show, but let's really push ourselves and, give ourselves room to develop something that we have to, sustain over multiple hour-long shows.
Yeah, and give ourselves, the time that we've always wanted. A lot of times I think, have wanted to explore more ideas, and it's really hard in a 20-minute set, or when you feel like you're really just getting to start, they'll call time and you get a blackout. And a lot of times when we do organize our hour-long shows at different theaters here, there's just a lot that goes into it, and it feels like Fringe is just so artist-friendly and circled that there's not a lot of hoops that you have to jump through.
In 2022, 6 lifelong friends with decades of combined improv experience came together with a shared mission to spread joy through laughter, and thus Kid Goblin was born. With boundless creativity and quick thinking, founders Chanel, Joel, Spencer, Mateo, Sarah, and Itzel craft a new show every time they hit the stage. From the depths of the underworld and onto the stage, Kid Goblin whisks audiences away to another realm of long-form improv. Based in San Diego, California, this powerhouse team brings infectious energy and comedic prowess to every performance, leaving audiences craving more. Spencer and Chanel, welcome to What the Fringe.
Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have improvisers. I'm an improviser, and I think this is the first time I've actually had an improv team on the podcast. So you're my first.
This is so exciting.
It's really exciting. I don't know how common it is for Fringe, because last year there was one other improv team that we know about. And I know during the sign-up process, they were I think kind of leaning away from improv. They wanted us to have a structure and what kind of show are you selling? It can't just be an improv. So probably why there haven't been many improv guests in the past.
Well, I've seen quite a bit of improv at different festivals that I go to, but like your show, Confess Your Sins to Kid Goblin, there is some little kind of theme around it usually. That usually works really well, again, because it helps with marketing. So you guys are doing the right thing. I want to encourage you in that. And so I've seen some really great improv around. And so, yeah, there's folks that do that for sure. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah. And we were kind of worried too, that was why we weren't going to get in. And even worried about that this year too. We were maybe they did take a chance on us. Are we going to be able to get back in again? And we're very thankful that we get to do this all over again. This is awesome.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, it sounds like a really fun show. I'm not always down for improv, so that it's exciting. And I'm excited because we're going to be in the same theater. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm excited. Hopefully, if you're after me, I can come. Usually, if you're before, I don't. But if you're after.
Understandable.
My show's a little it's a dramedy, so I have to, focus. And there's lots of improv in it. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So that's super fun. So I thought because we're improvisers, we could do some improv. I'm going to do a little bit here at the top of the podcast, and then you guys can do some at the end.
Love that.
So I do short form, and I'll say, don't kill me, because you guys are long form. But we do this game called My So-Called Life, and we just get a few bare minimum facts about people and then do a scene based on that. So I'm going to, all I know is that you all are in an improv troupe and you happen to be married. So we didn't have too much of a discussion about your relationship before we got on air or anything. So I'm going to tell the story of how you met. This is I'm going to improvise it. And whenever I say something that's kind of right, Chanel, you can give a little ding.
Okay.
And Spencer, when I say something wrong, which I feel like you're just going to be, yeah, big old, okay?
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to make some big assumptions here.
I'm so excited.
All right, you guys were 5. And because you've known each other, you're lifelong friends, is what it said.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I feel like that's already wrong. You were 5, or you felt 5 in your heart, but you were actually in college.
Ding.
Oh, great. Okay, good. You were in an economics class. Okay. You saw each other from across the room. Your eyes caught each other's gaze. You were instantly enemies.
Kinda ding.
Okay, great. Then the professor put you in a study group together, and your hate for economics came to the surface, but your love for one another started to show. And you were a little nervous. They're like, oh, I'm in. Are they in? I don't know. We both hate economics.
Kinda ding.
Okay, great.
On feelings. Yeah, kinda ding.
On feelings, yeah.
Wrong on economics. Okay, so then you both show up to the audition for the college improv team, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's here, she's here. I wonder if we're going to do a love scene.
Kinda ding.
Yeah, it's all like half true. Okay, just...
This is good. Keep going.
Okay, great. And then for the audition, okay, I'm going to make a really big assumption. Spencer was like, I've been waiting for this perfect moment. And they put you in a scene and they're like wedding, and you're like, yes. And you get down on one knee and you pull out a ring pop and you ask Chanel to marry you. Okay. She says yes. And everybody is like, are they for real? And then the scene's over, and then you guys go in the hallway and you're like, no, I am for real. I'm going to give you this candy ring as a proposal of my love.
Yeah, no.
Then like 3 years later, you guys get married on stage during an improv show.
I would love to say ding because I had a dream about that. But it wasn't a ding.
Yeah, I'm just captivated in the story. I should be Xing a lot sooner.
You kind of fell asleep on your job a little bit, but...
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so how did you guys actually meet? I feel like it has to do with improv, so that's our silly story. Thank you for humoring me.
You did great. First of all, a round of applause.
Thank you.
You were pretty close. So we did meet at an audition while we were both in college. We met at a theater. And what it was is it was a college team. So everyone was from different colleges. I was going to a different school, transferring over to the same school that Spencer was at, SDSU. But I had already been on the team and he was auditioning and he was kind of, well, I guess you can tell this part.
To go back even further, before I auditioned and I just came to see a show at the National Comedy Theater, my eyes met you across the room, but you were on stage. So yeah, it was not reciprocal.
I don't know if I know this.
It was just like, wow, she's so pretty. It's so funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I saw you on stage before I met you at
Did not register.
Mm-hmm.
He's confessing his sins right now.
You are confessing a sin that you kept this story from me.
Yeah. Maybe the timeline's a little compressed, but yeah, that's actually, I saw you first and then I think auditions came later.
Were you like, that guy's cute, he should make the team?
I was super okay. So I had been on this team for like at least a year or so, maybe 2. And I had been with this theater since I was in high school. So I was like committed. And he gets on the team, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, we have a bunch of people who are new to the team. And then he left to go study abroad in Spain. In Italy, and he never told anyone on the team. So he never came to practices. He wasn't showing up to shows. He didn't tell anyone he was studying abroad. I thought he had just like left the theater, and I was like, why did we let him on the team? He's not serious about this. And then he comes back, and we were kind of like, where were you? And we were all like, I was just like, this guy, he's just like in a fraternity. He doesn't care about this. Like, we are wasting our time. I took it way too seriously. I literally took it way too seriously.
All my improv experience was like very casual. I was in a high school club before college, and SDSU has a very casual, like drop in, drop out improv team. So I thought it was the same thing. I didn't think a theater with like scheduled and structured practices was expected me to report when I was going to be there, when I was going to take 3 months off to go to Europe. So I left, didn't tell anybody, and then showed up and didn't tell anybody.
We thought he was off the team.
Like, showed up on a Sunday again, and everyone was surprised to see me. I was like, oh, I didn't even think anyone noticed I was gone.
They're like, Spencer, here's your adulting card, bro.
Yeah, you gotta communicate.
This was 20, 19 years old, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We were young, but I partly dinged because I was like, he was my enemy, but not to him. Because I was like, this guy.
One-sided beef.
It was one-sided beef.
One-sided beef and one-sided eye gaze.
Yeah, I thought I was in good standing still.
He was smitten, and I was like, let's get this guy off the team.
You were like, eh.
Yeah, I said, eh.
That's so great. But then you guys got to know each other, fell in love. Did you get married during a show?
No, I thought that like you were going to propose during a show and like have our family and friends there. But we actually did get married about like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So it's recent. It's recent. But we've been together for 9 years. So it's been a long time in the making.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to give you a wedding gift or something.
No, this is a gift. Your presence is a present.
My story and my presence was a gift.
Your story was perfect.
You can keep it. It'll be on the podcast forever for your family and children if you ever so choose to have them to hear.
They're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak that upon you when you've been married for like 2 weeks.
Plenty of coworkers have. It's totally fine.
I'm an old fart with lots of kids. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So you guys are two of a team of 6. So how did that team grow from this angry yet gazeful relationship in a theater to, I'm going to bring that up from now and forever, to a team of 6 that is now called Kid Goblin?
Yeah, we all went to San Diego. Well, actually, we didn't all go to San Diego State.
All but one.
We all met at National Comedy Theater and San Diego State, and then joined a team in college called Iota Eta Pi. That was like the San Diego State team. It was bigger than the 6 of us, but we would do shows on campus, put shows in the theater and in classrooms around school, and, you know, do house shows that were just kind of like a show and then a house party. That was a lot of fun. That's how we all got close. And then we moved on, graduated, kind of went their separate ways for a while. And then COVID hit. That was actually kind of the catalyst, where nothing was going on. No improv was happening. And our friend Sarah, who's on the team, I think
Joel actually got us together.
Joel started reaching out.
Yeah, so Joel got everyone together. A lot of us had been graduated for at least a year. So it was kind of like a year of us not seeing each other when we had so often. And we were kind of like, we still want to do this. We still want to create stories together, and missed each other's presence, but also, I think a lot of people hit a certain point during COVID where you missed a lot of like interaction and togetherness. And then also to just talk about stuff and kind of get together with an audience.
And we put the 6 of us together, and we said like, hey, we're an independent team, and started like marketing ourselves out to the local theaters, which was something kind of new to us. And I think to like the improv down here, where it's just, you're not a house team belonging to a theater. You're just like friendly with different theaters, and you show up and do a spot. And then that was kind of really nice for us. We could perform in different spaces, and do whatever formats we wanted and do it our own way. That really worked out for us, and we're still doing it to this day.
There's been some great stuff that has come out of COVID, of such a really rough time. There was someone else that I had on recently from San Diego as well that had some good things come, from the awful things of COVID, but some really great artistic things. So that's very exciting that you were able to keep that going and momentum from such a hard time in the world. Okay, so Kid Goblin. Every improv team has these weird names. Where did that come from? And you've got this crazy little logo.
He's so cute. I love him. Spencer drew him. I remember wanting a spooky name because I was wouldn't that be cute if we had a spooky name, but that was also kind of cute. And then we originally were thinking about I can't even remember some of the other stuff we were even considering, but I was kind of what about a goblin or something? And then Spencer always kind of, I think a lot of times when you mention stuff to him, he already has an image in his head. And we were talking about a child goblin or a kid goblin, but he was already talking about oh, wouldn't that be funny if he had a little spinny hat on or something like that. And I think we all kind of sat on the name for a while, and I don't know, we just felt like it was palatable.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of cute, kind of silly.
Yeah, it's just fun, kind of silly.
Yeah, every improv troupe I feel like they all have some kind of weird, reason why they're called whatever it is that they are. So, and then Spencer, you drew the little goblin guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now he lives forever on the internet and on your marketing.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that logo. I don't do a ton of graphic design stuff, but that's one of the better ones I've done.
It's really good. And you made him look so cute. And I think even the slightly Cuphead style with the gloves and the pants and the shoes, I thought it was just perfect.
He's a cutie. He's a little cutie.
He's a cute guy.
So you guys were saying earlier, this is your second year in Fringe, and you were kind of nervous about getting in or kind of what was going on. And I'm curious as to what made you want to participate in Fringe, because you already are performing in these other spaces, but why Fringe?
I think to capture a new audience, one reason, and kind of push ourselves to do we're doing 20-minute sets. We might have an occasional hour-long show, but let's really push ourselves and, give ourselves room to develop something that we have to sustain over multiple hour-long shows.
Yeah, and give ourselves the time that we've always wanted. A lot of times I think have wanted to explore more ideas, and it's really hard in a 20-minute set, or when you feel like you're really just getting to start, they'll call time and you get a blackout. And a lot of times when we do organize our hour-long shows at different theaters here, there's just a lot that goes into it, and it feels like Fringe is just so artist-friendly and circled that there's not a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. You're not paying for security at the door. You're not making sure that everybody has a bar minimum and, ticket sales and things like that. And it's nice to just focus on getting people in. And I think what's awesome about Fringe is this, they're just so friendly with a lot of ticket prices and making sure that shows are available to everyone. And they do encourage, the community involvement, that it makes it really nice to one, feel a part of the community. But Fringe was just so perfect. I had to go to a few Fringe shows for some classes. And then when I was in high school, we got into the Fringe Festival in Scotland. So some of us were able to go, but it's just so awesome. And I think it's awesome to be a part of such a long-lasting show and tradition.
Thanks for sharing all of that. That's it's interesting because US Fringe tends to be a lot very local when you go to a city, and it's so encouraging to hear other artists locally why they want to be there, and that this really benefits you as artists to participate in Fringe, and you get to do what you want. I mean, that's just really, really exciting. So I want to talk a little bit about the show now and your format. So if people aren't familiar with improv, every show, there's always boundaries, right? Short form, we have games and we have rules, where long form, you have a format. So is this format for Confess Your Sins to Kid Goblin, is it something that you guys came up with? Is it a mishmash? What is the format that we've got going for this show?
It's kind of like a typical improv show where we'll ask an audience member about their day, or just about, we're talking about relationships, and we'll ask somebody about a first date they had, and we'll go back and forth and get information out of them that inspires the scene. And we're just kind of doing that with the anonymous confessional style, and that led us to like the Catholicism imagery. Yeah, it's just kind of restructuring a typical long form set to have a theme.
Yeah. We have been recently kind of experimenting with focusing our suggestions more based on like almost kind of like an audience interview. So we do ask for more than just like a word. We'll ask like, when's a time that you've experienced road rage, or someone's experienced road rage towards you, or, you know, questions like, oh, if you were in class, like what's the craziest thing that's happened, or tell us about your coworker. And what really works with that is a lot of times there's kind of like a sense of anonymity. So like people kind of really like open up and want to share about that. And it's nice because then it's an inside joke with the rest of the audience because they heard that whole entire story. And so when we pull pieces from that, it's the audience is in on the joke. So then we can kind of poke fun at it and take it into different areas. What I think is going to work really well with our show about confessing sins is we're trying to see if we can get people to not say it out loud, but you're going to write it down. So it's completely anonymous. We're going to read it out loud, and we have no idea who this was.
There'll be a bit of a gimmick. One of our performers, Joel, will be dressed as the priest, and we'll come in as, you know, characters with these confessions that we'll read for the first time, like when we're sitting in the confessional box. That'll be a fun bit too.
I love that. So it's kind of like vignettes. Maybe each of you get a chance to confess your sin, and then you'll do some scenes based on that. And then are you anticipating that you'll weave kind of like stories like from the first confession to the last, like we'll start seeing some of how those intercross?
Even though we try not to, we usually do. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think that's something we're trying to work on as a team, but we always end up kind of doing a narrative, which is kind of cool and kind of fun. But sometimes we're like, why do we keep doing that? But it worked out. But is that a bad thing?
That's my favorite thing is like, why did we watch this whole third act? Oh, it's because, you know, we can tie it into this first suggestion we did, and it's very satisfying when you do it properly.
It is satisfying for an audience and funny for an audience to go, how did they do that? And sometimes you give yourself a gift that you didn't know in that first or second scene, and you get to the last scene and you're like, this is the thing. And it's like, and it makes it magic, right? And the audience is like, how did that happen? You're like, well, I was listening.
It was my plan the whole time.
That sounds about right.
That's great. So have you done this show before? Have you practiced the format, or will this be like just brand new for the festival?
It'll be brand new for the festival, but we've practiced this format somewhat before, just different suggestions. Kind of like a pretty flower where you go back to your base scene or your base location, and then you branch out to different little vignettes, like you were saying earlier.
Fun. I cannot wait to see the show. It's going to be super fun. All right. So what has been for improv? Like, you can tell me either one of the like wildest moments that's ever happened on stage, or like one of the most magical moments. Do you guys have one of those other than you getting married, which is what I said earlier?
That totally happened. It did.
We don't get like wild and vulgar and too destructive, you know?
I think there was one we had like a long time ago, and I don't know what it was, but the audience, I felt like one with the audience, but we were doing this thing. I don't know if you remember this, Spencer, but you, and I think it was Itzel, who you guys were a couple and you were going to bed, and I was your cat that was bothering you. And I was doing different things that cats do, but there was a few people in the audience who absolutely felt seen. And they were like, my cat does that. My cat does that. Totally. And then I think I had like the fake like vomit thing, and someone was like, totally. And normally like that people aren't that vocal, but we were very fortunate with that audience, but I felt so like I wanted them to like jump up with me, and I thought that was awesome. But that was just like a cute little magic moment where someone in the audience, like, it was either cathartic for them or they just really felt seen. And that's I guess that's what you hope for, like, in your audience and in a show, when you get that feedback and you're like, okay, I'm doing something. We're getting this.
People are serious about their cats. Like, cat people.
100%.
Yeah.
They've all got the same behavior. So it's just like when they're scratching on stuff and they're doing their small little things, and then another cat owner sees that, they're like, they get it. They totally get that.
So for this show, for Confess Your Sins, how are you hoping the audiences are going to react? Or because you said they have to, it's secret, like it's anonymous. And so how are you hoping they're going to respond during the show or after the show?
I mean, I'm hoping that maybe there will be confessions where it's like multiple people have like the same kind of minor petty confession that they identify with. And I'm also hoping like there's just that one crazy that like put something in the box and nobody knows about it except for them. And it's just like, this show is just for them right now. We have at least one person on our side starting out. So that's what's fun for me. In general, when you do an audience interview, it's like this one person will be locked in. At least you have them on your side.
Yeah. Well, it's fun because people too, like if you have that anonymous write-in, they're like, who is that? They're like looking around and like, who's laughing? Who's like got their face? They're like looking down, their hands are in their heads, like, and for some people, like, it's really freeing to be like you said, there's going to be that one person. I feel like you're going to have in every show. There's going to be that one person that's like, thank gosh, I can finally get this off my chest. I'm going to write it down and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I just started seeing where people like confess stuff online too, and someone will read it. And I had just seen that for the first time yesterday. And I was like, this is like, I hope we get some responses kind of like this, where people are like, hey, I hit my mom's car and I blamed it on my grandma. I haven't told anyone till right now. And I hope we get something like that, because I think, one, it might be cathartic to see that, kind of go through and what that's like. Or two, that someone is like, that's hilarious, but I really can't tell anyone.
Well, I think you've got something really special. I hope it turns into like kind of more of a long running show for you guys there in San Diego, because it sounds really, really, really fun. So we've got some minutes left, and I want to try this. I'm going to confess, even though it's not written down, so it is a public confession.
It's very brave of you.
Yeah, that I did.
We can get into character. We'll be the joint co-priests and come into our confessional.
Okay, great. Okay, you can welcome me in.
Hello, daughter.
Father. It's usually like a screen or something.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been 2 years since I've come and been here, but I have something that's been weighing on me since I was young. When I was in high school, my friend and I were out walking the neighborhood, and I don't really remember exactly how this happened, but we came upon a house that had like a circle drive, and then there were these little pillars outside of kind of like the walkway up to their front door, but they were short, and on top of them were these big concrete balls. And somehow we figured out that one of them was loose, and I stole it. I took the concrete ball.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to have a reaction.
They were like a 1 foot by 1 foot. It was huge. And I took it home and I hid it in my closet so my parents wouldn't find it. And then I would like go and draw on it and stuff when I was, I just needed something to do. And then I think either when I went to college or was done with college, I found that concrete ball in the back of my closet and was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't let my parents see it. I'm going to have to throw it in the trash can or whatever. I don't remember what I did with it, but I just feel like I need to get that off my chest because I feel really bad for stealing my neighbor's concrete ball.
Just a question, my child. How large was this concrete ball?
I mean, I think it was like 1 foot by 1 foot. Like it was pretty, like it was It was sizable. It was not small. Like it was large. They did not have Ring doorbells back then. So there, they didn't know. It was the blessing that I had of being an old lady and I could steal things.
And excuse me if this is inappropriate, but how much did this cost? Do you know the financial burden you put on this family?
Father, I have no idea. And that's why it weighs heavy on my heart. I mean, they're going to have to get it replaced.
Heavy on your heart. Pun intended.
Exactly. Hundreds of dollars. I don't know. Not cheap.
I hope you don't mind that I have my co-priest here. He's interning.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Thank you. I feel doubly blessed.
You are in the middle and we are on either side.
Yeah, thank you.
They're shadowing.
Good.
So I think your burden is relieved.
Thank you.
Say 5,000 Hail Marys.
Okay. Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yes.
Father, don't you believe that's too many?
I don't know. That's usually what I give out. Is that too many?
Father, I don't think you should ask me. I'm shadowing you.
Well, I'm always shadowing the Lord, the Christ, so I have much to learn myself.
Father, well then should I just be shadowing the Lord and not you, or?
I feel like we shouldn't be having this discussion in front of the sinner.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, Father, they no longer have sinned. They have their 5,000 Hail Marys.
I'm at about 2,000 right now, so yeah.
Oh, wow, you work fast. Have you considered a job in the church?
Too many sins.
Oh, we all got sins. I mean...
Father, if we're confessing sins, I have another one as well, yes.
Hector here used to sell used cars to single mothers and
I did.
Sold lemons every time. It was egregious.
Yeah. And to be honest, I didn't feel bad about it at the time. I would do it again. That's why I'm here, shadowing Father. I gotta purge this from me. He's been very good to me. He let me in and asked if I wanted a spot in the church because I was coming in and I was confessing every single day. Another 2 lemons, another 3 lemons.
Didn't you sell a car to a mother of 2 that was a raccoon's den?
Yeah.
It still had the raccoons in it?
Well, they were living in the trunk, and I thought it would be fine. You know, what's a family with a few new pets? I didn't investigate any further. She bought it for a really good price. She didn't ask any questions.
Good for you. It was bad for her.
I really do. I care about women. I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Father, he kind of got fed up with all my confessions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got fed up.
He was fed up.
Yeah.
He pulled me aside and he said, I'm not supposed to know that this is you confessing these things, but how about a job, an honest job at the church?
I was trying to buy a car from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. And I gave it to you.
Mm-hmm. You told me it was the Pope's old car.
It was the Pope's old car.
Yeah, I know that now to be a lie. The Pope did not drive a 2004 Chevy Taurus.
I don't think the Pope has ever been to Kentucky, so I don't think he could have. And so, to be honest, I just gave you a really good story.
Yeah, I haven't deviated from that story. I'm too ashamed.
So maybe that's your sin. And now maybe you need 5,000 Hail Marys.
Okay, you're right. Yes.
Let me know when you're done.
Oh, I'm not going to do it now.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it on the clock. That's
so sorry,
time.
sinner, that or ex have sinned, my child, that you have to hear this.
I feel much better about this, knowing that I'm in good company, and that if I lose my job, considering the economy, that I could come work for the church.
Yes, there's always room for more. The Lord's love is abundant.
I got to at least address this before we go. Mm-hmm. The church is missing a giant concrete ball out in front of the parking lot.
I need to go. And that's time. There we go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Very good. You have a future in long form.
Thank you. I hope to do some long form here in Houston. The troupe that I'm with we have some other long form, some folks, but one day the bandwidth will allow me to do that. But
it's a lot. We both started in short form, and it's a lot. Like, it's really pushing yourself. And what we liked about it is that you do get to express yourself a little more, what we felt like was artistically, when you do get to bend the rules a little bit. But short form is absolutely where we started, and we're very thankful for it because it's hard work. It is very hard work.
It is. You have to jam pack so much into a very short period of time and hope you have a beginning, middle, and end by the time they blow that whistle.
Yes, it is. And you're tired at the end of it. You're sweaty. Feel like you ran a marathon by the end of a show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. That was so much fun. Thank you for humoring me.
That rocked. I love that confession. And I'm just, the only thing that was in my mind, and that's why I asked how big it was, is I'm imagining those concrete balls outside of Target.
Oh, it wasn't quite that big. I would have had to roll that one down the street. I would have had to have a large closet.
I was like, why is this in your closet?
Right. It was about the size of a head, like noggin size.
Probably like a good 60 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I must have been working out to get that home and into the closet.
Something about teenage strength.
Yeah, and like just balls, pun intended, to do that. Like, what in the world was I thinking?
I don't know, but I can tell you I would probably be thinking the same thing at that age.
I know, it is like, how did I figure out that it was loose? Like, what drove us to like walk up to somebody's like close to their front door and like touch it and then be like, oh, that's loose.
I imagine it's the same urge as when you want to smack a bag of rice. You just have to smack it.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the grocery store, you just want to smack it.
You just want to roll a big concrete ball.
A smooth concrete ball, you just want to smack it, and it was loose.
And I'm like, I'm taking this home. This is mine now.
You're kind of doing them a favor, though. I mean, if it was loose, it could have fallen on someone, so you just took it.
Okay, now, you know what? I feel better about myself now that is what I helped them not have a foot injury or something. So
we could make you feel good about almost anything.
Great.
So come see the show. We'll make you feel good about what you've done wrong.
There you go. You've got Confess Your Sins, and the next one can be like the Feel Good Show, and we'll make you feel good about the really bad stuff you did in your life.
Yeah, positive advice.
Yeah, positive vibes. I don't know. That'd be fun.
We'll gaslight you into thinking it was fine.
So great. You're totally fine. Yeah, no, murder? That person deserved it. Yeah, great.
You never know. They could have gone on and done something worse.
I know. So good. Well, Spencer and Chanel, it's been so great to have you on the podcast today. This was just so much fun.
Thank you.
Lauren, you rock.
Oh, you rock.
If you ever need someone to play with when you're in town and visiting, we got your back.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay.
You're like, do we have an audience volunteer? Yes, I will volunteer. Thank you very much. Coming up.
We're going to make you look good.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I love that. I usually end with an awkward question, but I think this was awkward enough. I'm just glad that you guys came on today, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kid Goblin performs regularly in the San Diego area, and you can catch them right now at the San Diego Fringe Festival. Maybe me, who knows? You got to come out and see if that's what's going to happen. They're going to be playing at the Marie Hitchcock Puppet Theater. So be sure to check their website for more performance dates at kidgoblinimprov.com and keep up with them on Instagram at Kid Goblin Improv. What the Fringe is produced and hosted by me, Lauren Hantz. This episode was edited by Ben Ellis of Renowned Media, and those sweet tunes you hear are provided by Paul Snyder of Orchestra of Sound. And our logo was designed by Ruby Arnold of Ruby Makes Things. What the Fringe can be found on your favorite podcast platforms and now on YouTube. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the know when new episodes release. Keep up with What the Fringe on Instagram at whatthefringe_productions and find us online at whatthefringeproductions.com. I hate flyering. It's like literally the worst, but it is necessary for Fringe. So this year I am going all in and I am going to flyer my little heart out. It will become so second nature that the urge to tell someone about my show will be way too hard to fight. I can see it now.
I imagine it's the same urge as when you want to smack a bag of rice.